Hello guys, Rajnikant here. So today's video is gonna discuss collections interview questions for freshers and 1 year from 1 year experience to 5 years of experience, right? So if you have not subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe it immediately and hit the bell icon to get all the notifications, right? So ultimately you will be get benefited out of it. So let's begin it quickly. So first and foremost question you will get explain collection hierarchy. This is for freshers mostly. For experienced person maybe you will not get, but freshers this is mandatory interview questions. Explain collection hierarchy, right? So what exactly collection hierarchy is means, so in collections we do have different interfaces are there and multiple implementation classes are there. So how their structure is or how they are in hierarchical manner, that one you need to gonna explain, right? So it is always recommended for this explanation you can use a pen and paper in that interview and it will be more visualized, right? So let me explain you this one. So here iterable is that one interface. So and from this iterable again one more interface is there collection, right? So you can see this there is, if it's a hard arrow means it's a extends from, right? So collection interface it's extends from iterable, right? And dotted line means it's a implements, right? And so iterable is the interface and collection is one more interface which extends from iterable. Then from this collection we have three base interfaces are there, which is known as list, set and queue, right? These are the three base interfaces, list, set and queue, and these interfaces are extends from collection interface, right? So for each interface different implementation classes are there, right? So you can see for list we do have ErrorList, it's a directly implementing from list. Then LinkList is there which implements list interface and DQ interface as well, right? So uh, if I want to show you here, let me create a linked list, Control Shift O. Now let's go to this linked list class. So you can see here linked list is that class. This class implements from list interface, implements, you can see implements from list interface and DQ interface, right? So whatever I have explained here, linked list it's implements from list and DQ as well, right? Now coming into third one, it's a vector which implements from list, and after vector a stack is a data structure is there which directly extends from vector. So these are the list hierarchies. Now coming into set. So if you see here, see right hand side, set is there. So set is an also a base interface. So if you want I can show you here. Okay, where is set? So you can see set is that interface, base interface. This is a set interface set, and it extends from collection interface. No, already explained I have. Set is an interface and it extends from collection. Okay, so set has different implementation, HashSet and linked HashSet, right? These are the two different implementations are there. And from set one more interface it extends from sorted set, right? One more interface there, sorted set, which extends from set interface. And for this sorted set we do have an implementation, it's a tree set, right? So this is the entire collection hierarchy. This is the basic level hierarchy. If you go in depth level means in between lots of abstract classes are there. So I mean if you explain in that way it's very hard to remember those stuffs. So in basic way you can explain like this. So you can draw this diagram in a pen and paper and we can explain. So this is that first question. Now let's move to second question. So what are the main difference between array and collection? For freshers this is the most important interview questions. I could remember whenever I attended some freshers interview, in every interview I got these questions, right? So let me explain you this one. So array is a data structure which can store homogeneous objects, right? It can store homogeneous object, first point. Next, second point is array have fixed in size. right? Array is that fixed in size. So let's see what are those two properties. So if you see here, already I have declared an array, right? So integer array equal to new integer of size 20. So this indicates this array can contain at max 20 elements. After 20 elements, it cannot store those elements. After 20, it cannot store. So this is in fixed in size. So whenever you are declaring an array, like this we are declaring, so it's a fixed in size like this. The second property, it only contain homogeneous data. Homogeneous means same type. Suppose here you can see I have declared an integer array, right? So in that integer array only you can add integers, or only you can store integers into that array. You cannot store string into that. You cannot store any other types of elements to that array, right? If it's a integer array, you can store only integer. If it's a string array, you can store only string elements, string type elements, right? Beyond that, you cannot do anything. You cannot store anything. So these are the two properties. Now coming into collection. So collection is not fixed in size. There is no fixed size, right? So it's a growable, or dynamically it will grow. If you add multiple number, sorry, if you add multiple times some elements, so it will gradually it will grow that one. So it's not in fixed in size. Now coming into what type of element it can store, right? So collection allows us to store heterogeneous objects, means any object you can store. Suppose you have created a collection, whether it's a list or set. If you want to store integer, you can store. If you want to string, you can store. If you want to any other types, any other data type also you can store. So it can it contain multiple types. It can store multiple types of elements, right? Hope you got a clear picture about question number 2. Now let's move to question number 3. So it's a pretty simple and quick forward. What are the basic interfaces are there in collection? Okay, so if you visualize here this collection hierarchy, there are 3 basic or base collection interfaces are there. Base interfaces, right? So here list, queue and set, these are the base interfaces of that collection, right? So it's a pretty simple. Hope you got this one. Now let's move to question number 4. So what is ArrayList in Java? So ArrayList, let's discuss. So ArrayList is a implementation class of list interface. You can simply say ArrayList is an implementation class of list interface. This is that first. And next you can explain what are the properties of ArrayList, or when we are going to use ArrayList. What is the scenarios you are going to use ArrayList, right? So ArrayList have these properties, right? Let me import this one. Okay, we are good. So ArrayList properties, right? So ArrayList can store that insertion order, or it can maintain that insertion order. That means suppose here I have created an list equal to new array list. I'm adding Rajnikant, Srikant, Lipika, Deepika, right? So in what order you have added in that list? So first Rajnikant I have added, second Srikant I have added, third Deepika I have added, fourth Deepika I have added, and fifth Deepika also I have added, right? In which order you are adding those elements, in the same order you will get while retrieving or while iterating those elements, in the same order you will get, right? So this is called insertion order reservation, or maintaining insertion order. This is one more property. So another property is that it can allow duplicate elements. Means if you see here I am adding Deepika as a element, and at last also again I am adding the same name here, right? 2 times I have added, so it's a duplicate thing, right? So it will allow you to add duplicate elements as well, right? So let's run this code and we'll see whether it's preserving those insertion orders or not, right? So let me run this one. Okay, let me drag this one to here, right? So you can see the same order on what order we have added to that list, the same order we are getting. First Rajnikant is coming, second Srikant, third Deepika, fourth Deepika, and fifth also Deepika, right? So here you can see those duplicate elements are also there, right? So here two properties, you need to save these two properties: insertion order preservation and duplicate elements allowed. These two properties you need to tell, right? So hope you got it. Now let's move to next question. Array list we have covered. So what is HashSet in Java, right? So HashSet, you can say HashSet is an implementation class of set interface, right? This is the implementation class of set interface. Now let's discuss what are that properties. What are those properties are there for that hash set, or in which scenario we are going to use hash set, right? So for hash set, let me explain you here. So already you can see I have created a hash set and I am adding properties. Sorry, I'm adding elements. No. So set will not preserve insertion order. That means in what order you are saving or adding those elements to set, it is not guaranteed that while iterating in the same order you will get, right? So this is called, it will not maintain insertion order preservation. This is first point. And second point is it will not allow duplicate elements, right? It will store unique elements in that set, right? So two properties: it will not maintain insertion order and it will not allow, it will not allow duplicate elements, right? So let's check again here. So here you can see I have added duplicate elements. That last element I have adding 3 times, but while printing those stuffs you will get only one element, right? So let's see whether it's maintaining insertion order or not. So let me run this one. Run. Right. So you can see here, first element I have added Rajnikant here, second element Srikant I have added, third element Lipika I have added, and fourth element Deepika I have added, right? But while iterating, what we are getting first, it's a Lipika, right? And second element it's Deepika, right? So you can see here that insertion order it's not preserving, and you can see here Deepika is coming only one time, right? That means it's not allowing duplicate elements, it will store only unique elements, right? Hope you got a clear picture. Now let's move to next question. Has that we have covered, right? Vector. So vector is a legacy collection and it's the implementation of list interface, right? So if you see here, sorry, vector is a legacy collection, means it's present in 1.2 version onwards, and it's directly implementation class of a list. From list it's implementing, right? So what are the other things are here, we'll see. All the methods present in the vector is synchronized, right? So all the methods present in vector is synchronized. So let me show you here. BCTOR, Control Shift O. Okay, so this is the vector class, you can see, right? Let's see, different methods are present here. These are constructors. Just see, trim to size, it's a synchronized method. Ensure capacity helper, this is not required. These are the private methods we are not going to use directly. So what are the public methods are there, you can see. Synchronized void, set size, synchronized int capacity, synchronized boolean is empty. So all those methods are synchronized methods in vector, right? So it is same as ArrayList, only difference is that all the methods are synchronized method in vector, right? So this is that vector one. Now let's move to question number 7. So what is the difference between ArrayList and vector, right? So both ArrayList and vector are implementation class of list interface, right? Both are implementation of list interface. And what are the basic difference? ArrayList is not synchronized, but vector is synchronized. So why ArrayList is not synchronized, right? And vector is synchronized. So why vector is synchronized means all those all those methods are present in vectors are synchronized. Okay. So all those methods are present in vector is synchronized methods. I already shown you here. So all those methods are here synchronized method, public synchronized int size, public synchronized int capacity, and all those stuffs, right? Public synchronized void set size. So all those methods are present in vectors are synchronized. That's why its vector is synchronized. Now next point, ArrayList uses iterator for traverse of element. Okay, so array traversal, right? In ArrayList we can use iterator for traversing that for a traversal. I mean, if you want to iterate those elements, you can use iterator, right? But vector, we do have multiple options are there. You can go for enumeration or you can go for iterator as well, right? Both the things are present here. And ArrayList is not a legacy class, but vector is a legacy class, means from Java 1.2 onwards vector is present. That's why it's a legacy class, right? So hope you got a basic difference between ArrayList and vector. Now let's move to next question. So list and set difference, right? So already I have explained those interfaces and their implementation classes separately. Now let's see what are the difference between a list and set, right? So list is an interface and set is also an interface. List, we can store duplicate elements, right? So list allows us to store duplicate elements. Already I have shown you in that example that it can store duplicate elements. But set will store only unique elements, right? It will store unique elements. Duplicate elements are not allowed here. Now move to next point. So list maintains that insertion order of the collection, right? So we have discussed that one, and I already shown you that example that list maintains insertion order, in which way we have insert those elements in the same order we can retrieve. So while retrieving also in the same order we'll get, but set doesn't maintain any order, right? So whatever that insertion order, but while retrieving it may give you in the random one. We cannot guarantee that in what way it will come, right? Now move to third point, that implementation classes are, right? For the list, what are the implementation classes? So array list, linked list, vector, and stack are those implementation classes of list. So coming into set, for the set, different implementations are there. HashSet and linked HashSet are those implementation classes. So fourth point, the list provides positional access of elements in the collection, right? So lists are index based. So if you want, you can get list.get of some index to that particular element you can get, but set doesn't provide positional access to the element in the collection, right? So hope you got a clear a difference between list and set. Now moving into next question, question number 9. What is the difference between array list and linked list, right? So the base difference, this is the implementation of only list interface, and this class implements both from list and DQ. So if you see here that collection hierarchy, so linked list you can see here is implementing from list and DQ, but array list is implementing from list only, right? So now let's move to next difference. So ArrayList internally uses dynamic array and linked list uses doubly linked list, right? So this is the base difference. Okay, so now let's move to next question. So what are the set implementations, right? So set is that base interface which extends from collection interface, and that implementation classes are HashSet, linked HashSet, tree set, copy and write array set, and concurrent skip list set, and abstract set. These are all those implementation classes of set interfaces. So hope you got it. Now let's move to question number 11. So what is a linked HashSet? Right? So hash table and linked list implementation of that set interface is known as linked hash set. So ideally this definition hash table and linked list implementation of the set interface is quite confusing, right? So it indicates that it's a implementation of hash table and linked list, right? If you see also in Java doc also the same. Let me open this one. In Java doc also you can see that one. This is a linked hash set. So you can see hash table and linked list implementation of set interface. Okay, now let's go to move back to our documentation, right? Set interface. So this indicates that internally they are using hash table and linked list implementation of that set interface, right? So now next move to next point. This implementation differs from HashSet in that it maintains a doubly linked list running through all of its entries, right? It's in doubly linked list is there, and stores unique elements. The same thing like set, it store unique element, and one more thing, it maintain insertion order, right? This point you need to tell, right? What is the unique point here? Maintain insertion order. This point you should do. You should focus while you are getting this question. What is the linked HashSet? This maintain insertion order, this one you need to highlight, because set will not allow insertion order, but linked HashSet allows insertion order. Hope you got a clear picture. Now coming into what is tree set, right? So tree set is another implementation class of set interface, right? So a navigable set implementation based on a tree map. The implementation, the elements are ordered using the natural ordering or by a comparator provided at the set creation time, depending on which constructor is used, right? So tree set is a implementation of set set interface, and it store those element in insertion order. This is the key point. It stores those element in insertion order, right? Some default insertion order, it will store those element, and it will store those it will store unique elements in the tree set, right? So by default is ascending order. I told, right, it will maintain some order, sorting order. So it will maintain the ascending order, right? Hope you got a clear picture about tree set. Now let's move to next question. So next question is what is iterator, right? So this is an interface. Iterator is an interface, and all the implementations are provided at the collection class level, right? In each collection those implementations are there. Suppose it's a ErrorList, then ErrorList have its own implementation. Suppose it's a set, it's have HashSet, so it's have own implementation. Those implementations are provided by that collection classes, right? So what are the different types of iterators we have? So we do have enumeration and iterator and list iterator. These three iterators are we have, right? What is enumeration? This is applicable for vector and hash table. So if you want to iterate those elements of a vector and hash table, you can use enumeration. And iterator is the universal traverse only forward direction, right? So it's a universal uh, traverser. I mean, for all those collection this is applicable iterator. and it can traverse only forward direction. It cannot move to backward. Now coming into list iterator, it's applicable only for list type collection and it can traverse both forward and backward direction. Right? So hope you got a clear picture about iterator and what are different kinds of iterators are there and where those implementations are provided. Right? So now let's move to next question. What is concurrent modification exception? This is a very important questions, and most of the interview you will get, whether it's a fresher or a experienced person, definitely you will get this interview question. So what is concurrent modification exception? Okay, so while iterating non-synchronized collections over iterator, if you modify the structure of collection directly, that time we'll get concurrent modification exception. Right? So for example, we have a list interface, sorry, we have a array list, and you are iterating that array list using iterator, and while iterating that collection you are adding some element or you are removing some element from that list. So that time we'll get concurrent modification exception. If you want, I will show you example quickly here. So already I have a list is there, so let me iterate that list using some iterator. Right, so here let's do iterator, control shift O, util iterator, itr equal to list dot iterator. So it will return that implementation. Right, iterator is the interface. Right, so how we'll get that actual implementation object? On the list you can call iterator method, then it will return that implementation. Now let's do a while itr dot has next, then I am doing iterating, and here I am printing something, system dot out dot println, and here I am printing itr dot next, sorry, itr dot next. Okay, so yes, we have done. So while this iterating, if you are removing something or adding something to this directly list, not through iterator, if you want to remove some element, you can do like this, iterator dot remove method is there. If you are doing this is fine, but if you are doing like this, list dot remove or list dot add, list dot I'm changing the structure, remove is there. Okay, remove first index I want to remove. Let's see, it will throw some concurrent modification exception. Just see, concurrent modification exception. Right, here we are modifying the structure, that's why it's throwing. Hope you got a clear picture what is concurrent modification exception. Right, then let's move to next question. So what is fail fast? This is completely related to earlier question, concurrent modification exception. This one is completely related to that one. So while iterating that collection, if you are modifying the structure of the collection directly, not via iterator, that time if the iterator will throw concurrent modification exception, those iterators are known as fail fast iterators. Right, so this means while iterating a collection, if you are modifying that structure directly and it's throwing some exception like concurrent modification exception, then it's a fail fast iterator. Right, so all those collection from util package are fail fast. Okay, so this is also a important interview questions for freshers and experienced person, so you can remember this one as well. Right, so now let's move to next question. So what is fail safe? Right, so exactly opposite of fail fast. So if you are modifying some collection structure while iterating using iterator, but still you are not getting any concurrent modification exception. So those collections or those iterators are known as fail safe collections or iterators, right? So while iterating, if you are modifying that collection directly and it's not throwing exception, then that is known as fail safe iterators or collections, right? So for example, what are those examples? All those collections from concurrent package are known as fail safe, right? So you can give an example, copy and write array list, or copy on some some classes are there, you can give an example as well, right? So hope you got a clear idea what is iterator and what is fail fast iterator, what is fail safe iterator, and what is concurrent modification exception. Now let's move to next question. So how can we get a thread safe collection, or how to make a collection thread safe, right? So by default, all those collections are not thread safe from that util classes, right? In the util classes, whatever those collections are present, like set or list, array list or HashSet, those are not thread safe, right? So how you can make them thread safe? There are different ways are there, right? So what are those ways? We can do like, so collections is a utility class. On top of that class, you can call a method collections dot synchronized list. You want a synchronized version of list, then you can call collections dot synchronized list or collections dot synchronized map. Like this, you can call, or collections synchronized collections like this. On top of that class collections dot synchronized list, and then you can pass your existing list, whatever on what list you want to make it synchronized version, that list you can pass it here, right? So hope you got this one. Now let's move to next question. So how to avoid concurrent modification exception, right? This is a pretty good interview questions. So to avoid that one, you can use concurrent collections, right? So for that scenarios, you can use concurrent collection. For example, instead of array list, you can use copy and write array list, so that you can avoid those concurrent modification exception. Or if you're using directly copy and write array list, they can then that time even iterating via iterator as well, you can modify this structure directly, right? Hope you got it. Now move to next questions. So different ways you can iterate a list. So there are different kinds of methods are there, you can iterate. So by using for loop also you can iterate, by using for each loop you can iterate, by using iterators you can iterate, by using streams and for each, by the combination of streams and for each also you can iterate that list, or you can traverse that list, right? So now let's move to next question. What is collections? It's not a collection, it's a collections. It's a capital C. What is collections class, right? So collections, this is also most important interview questions, whether it's a freshers or experienced persons. So collections is that utility class, right? There number of utility methods are there to help for the collections, right? Collections dot sort, collections dot synchronize. So lot of utility methods are there. You can go there and you can check in details, right? So next, let's move to next questions. Comparable and comparator interfaces, right? So both are used for sorting a collections. So we suppose we have a list or a set, so you want to sort those elements, right? So that time we can use comparable or comparator interfaces to sort those collections, right? So both are used for sorting collections. Comparable interface have only single method known as compare2 method, and comparator have two methods are there. Sorry, one method. Sorry, comparator have compare2 method is there, and it will take two arguments. Oh, sorry, I told wrong. Compare2 will take only one argument, right? So I may give you an example, but later I will upload another video regarding how to sort different collections using comparable and comparator. Now let's move to next question. So how we can create a collection that no one can modify it, right? So this is also a very important question. So there is a method present in collections class. Collections is a utility class, and there is a method known as collections.unmodifiable collection, right? And you can pass that collection, that existing list you can pass here, so no one can modify that collection, right? So we have covered this one. Now let's move to next questions. So how we can sort list of objects by using comparable and comparator? We can sort list of objects, or in a set also we can do that one. I will do a separate video for that one, no need to worry about that one. Now let's move to next questions. What is the contract between hash code and equal? This is a very important concept. Hash code and equals. If I will explain this video, then it will take a long time. So in some other video I will explain that one. So contract between hash code and equals is that if two objects are equals, then their hash code must be equal. This statement you need to remember, or you need to fix this one. If two objects are equal, then their hash code must be equal, right? Now next question, HashSet internals. You can go through any question, I mean, you can collect those answers in this video. This is not scope of that. This in this video, this is not the scope. And explain that hash code and equals. It will take some lot of time, so I am skipping these two questions. Okay, hope I have done. So hope I provided some good input or good video this one. So hope this video will be helpful for you people. So I'd like to tell, please do like and comment and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.